Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Hi, I'm Alex and I am a registered dietitian.
And I'm Stephanie, also a registered dietitian, and we are the owners of Vancouver Dietitians.
So today we're gonna answer a lot of the emails that we get. We get a lot of emails, especially from young people, and we love it. All about being a dietitian, why we decided to be a dietitian, and how we became a dietitian.
Yeah, and we got so many questions that we decided to just make a video about it. Keep messaging us, absolutely, but I think this is a way that we can personalize it a little bit more because it's hard to explain everything in an email or over Instagram. So where do we even begin?
I guess I'll start with why I became a dietitian. Sure. Super interesting. So when I was in high school, I was going to be a journalist. I was going to be the next Christian Amanpour. I was going to go all around the world and I was going to report from there. So that's what I originally went into when I went to university. I went into coordinated arts program for political science and econ and stuff like that. It was actually my grade 12 biology teacher who told me I should become a dietitian.
Oh.
So Mrs. Howard, if you're out there, thank you. So she kind of planted that seed. And when I started in arts, I really, truly hated it. So I knew that that wasn't for me. And my sister actually had a friend who was a dietitian. So I went through this whole kind of crisis in first year of what do I want to be when I grow up? And I ended up going on a job shadow of my sister's friend in a hospital, and I fell in love. So that's kind of my origin story of why I decided to become a dietitian, and the thought process that took me there. How about you?
Yeah, so I had no idea what a dietitian was, and then when I was in grade 11, I think, my dad actually worked with a dietitian and he just had nothing but good things to say. My mom is a pharmacist and she always kind of pushed me down the healthcare road, but I didn't want to be a pharmacist, and being a doctor sounded really, really hard. So yeah, I just kind of looked into the dietetics program through UBC and I kind of knew I wanted to do it. I started volunteering, getting some work experience in kind of like the health and nutrition field, and then made sure I was taking all the courses that I needed as well. So yeah, and then that's where we met. It was in UBC.
Yeah, we met in class and we became friends in class, but actually I think when our friendship really kind of blossomed was in our practicum placement. So we did the same practicum, went to the same hospital, we were in a lot of the same placements, we did our research project together, we just spent a lot of time together, and so we knew that we made a good team and that we worked well together. Yeah. That's kind of where Vancouver Dietitians came from.
Yeah,
too.
It is. But I mean, even before getting into the dietetics program, I would say the 3 things to make sure you do is look at the program requirements. So go to whichever school that you're looking at. So UBC, for example, University of British Columbia, and make sure you look at all the courses that you need first year, second year, third year to make sure you have a plan and you're doing all of those. The second thing is work experience, and this doesn't necessarily have to be in the field of food, nutrition and health, but just kind of make sure you're getting some work experience, because during the interview they definitely want to make sure that you have a good balance of like work, school, social, like they like those really well-rounded resumes. So work experience. And the third thing is also volunteering too, so making sure that you have some volunteering experience on your resume. There's a lot of good companies through UBC like NutriKids, I don't know if that still exists, but you can volunteer with so many different like food-based companies. So I think that would be a really good idea as well.
Yeah, and if you're still kind of stuck on, well, do I want to be a dietitian? Job shadow. See if you can reach out, see if you can interview dietitians, see what their days are like, see if you can go with them to their place of work. Obviously with COVID right now, that makes it a little hard, but eventually this will end and you can go on job shadow and see what their days are like and if that's something that you could see yourself doing.
Yeah, for sure. And then once you apply to the dietetics program, if your application is accepted, then you will get an interview also. The interview, I remember being so scared. I was so nervous for the interview. There's like a panel of dietitians and they're doing the interview and they ask you pretty much the typical interview questions. So like, you know, why do you want to be a dietitian? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Like, tell me about a situation where you had to problem solve, and like critical thinking, and they really try and test you and see what you would do in kind of different situations as well.
And I think my top tip for that goes back to the work and volunteer experience, is that when you are asked those questions, you can draw upon real life, real world examples, and you can say things like, well, when I volunteered at such and such hospital, etc., etc. And that gives those dietitians concrete examples of why you would be a good fit for both the program and for the profession.
Yeah, I remember I had like a note pad, and I was writing down kind of like relevant experiences that I knew I could apply to like different types of questions. So for example, I wrote down like a couple times in my work or volunteer where I was able to problem solve, and I did that, or a couple times when I dealt with criticism or feedback. Like they like to ask those questions as well. Some more kind of like skills-based ones too, like how did you manage your time, and give some examples there. So just like write things down, have some answers prepared. It'll really, really help you going into the interview.
Yeah. So do you have more questions for us about what a dietitian is, what a day in the life of a dietitian kind of looks like, or how to go about becoming a dietitian? Drop us a line in the comment section below.
Thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.